It's a letter from 2019, and it does not mince words, gets right to the point, makes a very, very clear, sort of heartfelt point. A lot of conviction here. Dear Mr. President, we are writing in advance of your scheduled meeting with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban to express concern about Hungary's downward democratic trajectory. In recent years, democracy in Hungary has significantly eroded. The country has experienced a steady corrosion of freedom, the rule of law, and quality of governance, according to virtually any indicator. Under Orban, the election process has become less competitive, and the judiciary is increasingly controlled by the state. Press freedom has declined. The letter goes on to say, quote, "We urge you, Mr. President, to not diminish the importance of democratic values in our bilateral relationship with Hungary." That letter decrying the downward democratic trajectory of the nation of Hungary under Viktor Orban. Very straightforward letter, very clear, a lot of conviction there. It was signed by then U.S. Senator Marco Rubio in 2019. That letter made the rounds again today, thanks to the managing editor of The Bulwark, Sam Stein. And I guess you could call that a really useful read in light of today's news, where Secretary of State Rubio held a press conference today in Hungary, in which he basically swallowed the old Marco Rubio whole and instead burped out this guy.
President Trump is deeply committed to your success because your success is our success, because this relationship we have here in Central Europe through you is so essential and vital for our national interests in the years to come.
Your success is our success. Victor, can I call you Victor? This relationship through you. Secretary of State Marco Rubio today making moony eyes at Viktor Orban today, throwing the administration's full support behind Viktor Orban, despite his own supposedly principled revulsion at Orban's dictatorship just a few years ago. Presumably, beclowning oneself like this is what wins you favor in the Trump administration. It's presumably part of why Marco Rubio has all the jobs in the Trump administration. In addition to being Secretary of State, which used to be a full-time job, he keeps getting other jobs on top of that, like, for example, the head of USAID and the head of the National Archives, and also running the National Security Council. You might remember President Trump slashed the National Security Council last year. It seemed at the time like he might be getting rid of it because he didn't quite understand what it was for. But around the time that he set fire to it, he put Marco Rubio in charge of its smoking husk. What is the National Security Council supposed to be for? To be about? What's it supposed to be for again? Oh yeah, National Security Council basically is supposed to handle interagency communication, interagency coordination, interagency conflicts around national security issues. That's all. Like, say, the kind of thing that came up in El Paso last week. Customs and Border Patrol officials took a laser gun from the Pentagon and started firing it into the sky near the El Paso airport. The FAA is responsible for civilian aviation. They apparently had no idea what was going on. They freaked out and announced that the El Paso airport would be closed for 10 days for special security reasons. Special security reasons? What is going on here? What is going on here? This is like a Cub Scout troop playing Model UN after they accidentally ate a whole bag of what they thought was the troop leader's gummy bears. Those aren't gummy bears. I mean, this is the United States of America under the Trump Republican Party, wherein the Transportation Department, the FAA, and the Defense Department, pew pew, are both run by former Fox News hosts hired mostly for their hair. I mean, what happened here is CBP took a Department of Defense laser weapon and started firing it over an American city without notifying the people in charge of what's over an American city. Top administration officials first claimed that the El Paso airport closure really was a security thing in response to a sudden incursion of drones across the border from Mexican drug cartels. Of course, that was not true. It turns out it really was CBP firing a military laser into the air, and it turns out they weren't even firing at a drone of any kind. They were shooting at Mylar party balloons. Happy Valentine's Day. Among the many other things going on with this story, and to be clear, in a normal government, if something like this happened, you would have resignations from the cabinet official in charge of the Department of Transportation, the Department of Defense, and the Department of Homeland Security, right? All the relevant agency heads would resign and never surface again in public life. In this case, beep. And among the many other things going on with this story, it kind of does seem like an effective National Security Council might have helped in this instance. Interagency communication and conflicts related to national security. National Security Council might have been a good deconflicting kind of, oh well. Too bad the guy in charge of it was just busy with his other day job, which is licking the boots of foreign dictators.